Be'ezrat Hashem, B'siyata Deshmaya, we're back. Tonight is already an official Rosh Chodesh, the first day of the month of Kislev. B'shat Tova, Matzliach, Chodesh of Nisim, miracles, Chanukah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We know that Mar Cheshvan, we call it Mar. Mar in Hebrew means bitter. Bitter.
But the moon came out already today.
Huh?
Earlier today, I think.
Could be. No, I don't know. Technically speaking, if I don't know, something has to give. According to Rambam, technically, every 600 years we're going to be off. Our calendar is going to be off in the moon. Sometimes you see on the first day, the Rosh Chodesh just finished, it's already the third day of the moon. So which is a big problem. It's a big problem. If we're off, we could be celebrating Pesach on the wrong day. There's a lot of things could happen. So there are a lot of Rabbanim who are working today diligently to make sure that, when to add, let's say, in Kislev, like this year. This year for sure is going to be a problem. What's the problem this year? This year they're going to do one day Rosh Chodesh Kislev, then we're going to have the 10th of Tevet on Shabbat.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
We're Kislev now.
What?
We're Kislev now.
In Tevet. If Rosh Chodesh Tevet is going to be one day, we're going to get it.
The Rabbi said Kislev is going to be one day.
I said the Kislev again. Yeah. All the time I make the same mistake. It's okay. Whatever you know what I mean. Okay, you guys know what I mean. I'll make it clear. If the Rosh Chodesh Tevet is one day in Kislev or the middle of Chanukah, we have a problem. So that's why the Chachamim have to know when to add one extra day. So they add the second, the 30, like this time, 30 and 1, like we just now had. Then this way we'll push off the not Shabbat. Well, whatever. Hashem. We should know what's his name. We should have a lot of Nisim. This is the month of Nisim. Mar Cheshvan means bitter month that has no holidays. The month that has no significance. And if what's his name, a little bit smart, Haman, he would choose this month if anything. But he didn't, Baruch Hashem. Obviously he didn't do it. Okay, so let's start. Today is it was already Sunday night, going into Monday, which is the second day of the week of Parashat Shabbat. Parashat Vayetze. Which one?
Lexus.
No, Lexus. I can't. I only drive Toyota Highlander. Sorry, no Lexus for me. Okay.
They used to be cheaper.
Huh?
The Lexus RX used to be cheaper than the Highlander.
Used to be.
Remember,
Okay.
yeah.
The word is used to be.
They have in December they have specials.
Pay attention. Used to be.
I don't know what's today. I'm not.
My Toyota. Yeah. Baruch Hashem. Let's go. Halacha Reish Mem Zayin. What's his name? Give us Akdam Azor and tell us what's going on in this halacha. What are we going to talk about?
I'm going to give the Akdam.
Yeah. They're reading. Just read the heading. Read the heading.
One second. For Aleph?
Aleph, yeah. Reish Mem. You did it already?
We did. No, we did. Yeah, we're already.
Right. So we didn't do.
We're already by bed.
So we didn't do Mishnah Berurah. I promised to give you a little bit a rundown. But okay, let's go into Mishnah Berurah.
And I think I skipped the.
No, you were here. You read it. We read it. So you have, okay, now let's go to Mishnah Berurah and it will be very clear. The Siman, we were discussing when you must start praying, right? And we said over there that you're not allowed to interchange. Let's say if you daven in a certain Zman period, you cannot just change whatever you want. Right? It doesn't work like that. Once you establish the time that you daven, if you daven at that time, that prayer, you cannot intermingle and all of a sudden change to a different prayer. Now, how diligently and how strong the laws of Shulchan Aruch are, we'll see right now. Because what sounded to us like if you daven Mincha after 11th hour of the day, right? You can no longer ever daven Arvit after the 11th hour of the day. So how come on Shabbat, Friday afternoon, everybody does that? Almost no shul that doesn't daven like that, right? Everybody, especially in the summertime, when the time is late, everybody all of a sudden, except Shabbat early, daven Arvit in the 11th hour of the day, which is a question. Only Rabbi Yehuda, according to the Mishnah, the Machloki, that was Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbanan, Rabbi Yehuda holds that the 10th hour and 45 minutes, this is Plaga Mincha. Time Plaga Mincha means at that time you must finish all the Mincha, according to Rabbi Yehuda, and from that time of 10 hours and 45 minutes, you must daven Arvit. That's Rabbi Yehuda, right? So let's say we said, the Shulchan Aruch is saying to us something very strong. If you daven Mincha at the 11th hour of the day, You can never daven Arvit that day.
Erev Shabbat.
So how? No, ever regular.
Ah, regular.
Yeah. So the question would be like right now we daven here 5:15, which is what? Which is after the 11th hour of the day, which is right before Shkia. So how do on Shabbat in the summertime we're allowed to daven before Shkia? In that hour and 15 minutes of before the end of the day?
It's not only in the summer.
Because Shulchan Aruch is against it.
You can do it in the winter too.
Again, if you're Baruch Hashem, such a brown person, like if you're a yaki, such as so many people are Baruch Hashem, if you're such a yaki and bezochen such a minyan, I'll be very grateful to you, but I don't think so. Okay. In the winter, they daven early, 3:45. They daven 4:45. They daven Arvit already.
No.
That's what we're talking about.
No. Yeah. They do it right before plug.
Right
They do
before
Mincha,
and right after the plug, they do Arvit. Wow.
And also where I work,
But what about during the
how
week?
would
What
go
about
on?
during the week? How they daven?
at FM homes also they do it.
What's that? During the do they do that during the week also, or they do regular?
Every day. On Shabbat I don't know. On Friday I don't know. And the weekdays, in Israel, like I used to
Always
go,
does that.
if I have a flight or something, whatever, if I need to pray Mincha Arvit early, so I don't know, I can have the
So that's the question. How are you allowed to do that? If according to Shulchan Aruch, you're not allowed to do that. Well, like you just said, if I have an early prayer, wait a minute, but you always daven mincha during the Arvit time.
In New York, all the Sfaradi shuls.
So how? That's the question. How are we allowed to do that?
How? Yeah.
Because Shulchan Aruch says you're not allowed to do it.
Yeah.
Shulchan Aruch says once you daven from 10 hour and 45 minutes of the day mincha, you can never daven Arvit at that time. Shulchan Aruch, we did that, right? Mm-hmm. Or the other way around. If you daven Arvit, you can daven mincha then. It's not a flip-flop show over here. You can do whatever you want. You're not John Kerry's over here. You know, John Kerry's a flip-flopper. The politicians. We're not politicians. We have halakha. Okay, let's see. Mishnah Brura. I'm still remembering the 2004 election, Habibi. You know how far I am? All right. Let's go. Aleph. You remember that, huh? What's the Mark Siman? If you have this, if you're of that position, I'll give you John Kerry's for you. If you're in this position, John Kerry's for you also. This guy is good. Okay, let's go. Halacha Aleph, Sif Aleph, Sif Katan Aleph. Sorry, Sheet Palel, right? Tfilat Mincha le'achar sheshot. So we said you might daven Mincha mishit Palel. No, if you want to daven Mincha after 6.5 hours, so it says Mishnah Brura. The Tfilat Mincha keneged tamid shel ben ha'arbaim tiknua. Again, we have to always remember the purpose of this prayer is opposite. It was corresponding or correlation of with the same time of the Beit HaMikdash when they brought the second tamid, right? The second korban, like the tamid. You know what korban tamid is? Yeah. In the morning they would bring one lamb, and in the afternoon, right? So mincha was corresponding to that. Uzman shchitato. When was that korban done? Mideoraita hatchalato achar 6 shaot or mechetza. So the Torah would obligate us to do that korban anytime after 6.5 hour of the day, after chatzot and plus half hour. Chatzot after the midday and plus half hour. The hainu chatzi sha'a achar chatzot hayom, which would be half hour after midday, after the chatzot of the Rabbanan. The zmani, the shaot zmaniot. Remember that time, that word shaot zmaniot. They're not our midday. It's the midday of the Torah, of the rabbi's calculation.
Shaot zmaniyot.
Shaot zmaniyot, yes.
Shaot sounds like the hours of
the times, of meticulous times. It's not like 12 o'clock in America. Midday is mid-noon. It's 12 o'clock. By us, it's not like that. It's after the. It's between. You take between the sunrise and sunset, and you divide it into 12. That's your hour of the day. Which half of that plus 6 of the hours of that plus half hour. That was the time where you were allowed to bring the korban mincha, and that's the time you're allowed to daven mincha also. ורק משום כדי שיהיו יכולים להקריב קורבנות יחיד מקודם שאחר התמיד של בין הרביים אסור להקריב שום קורבן. Oh, so what would happen? What would be that thing like this? The korban tamid had a purpose. The sole purpose of that, of the both korban tamid was. It's the beginning and the completion of all the korbanot that are allowed to be brought in the Beit HaMikdash. Right? Regularly. Except for when it doesn't work, when that day doesn't work. Korban Pesach. And Erev Pesach, it would be different around. Korban Pesach, again, that only would be shechted, Korban Pesach, after the Tamid. Okay? So again, throughout the whole year, if you want to bring a sacrifice, korban todah, korban shlamim, korban chatat, any korban olah, any korban you want to bring, you come to Beit HaMikdash, you must be there and must be shechted your animal that you're bringing between the tamid of the shacharit, tamid ben arbaim, in that hour, those 6 hours. Okay. Now, so the completion of the day's sacrifices
which is what?
are marked by tamid.
What are those hours?
6.5 hours.
From what to what?
The korban tamid usually it's more than 6 hours because the tamid is right after shachar. The sun, as soon as the day breaks, right, amud shachar, that's when they would bring korban tamid. Yeah.
Not after.
Before midday.
So no, before midday would be all other sacrifices. At midday plus half hour would be korban, the last korban tamid, and there is no more sacrifices. There will be, that's it, no more sacrifices.
So most of them were done in the morning.
Everything has to be done.
That's Erev Chag before the holiday?
No, always.
Every day.
Every day. This is a day-to-day business. Except for Pesach, where there is a different rule. The rule is that the korban tamid has to be shechted. And again, there are no more other sacrifices. All the sacrifices you wanted to bring, they must be brought before. And then you have korban Pesach, the whole 6 hours after that. And, yeah?
So when we do Aravit, that's not really, there was no korban during this time.
Oh, very good. So that's when we get to the Halachot Arabit, we'll get there, we'll hit on it. But the Gemara says that it corresponds to the Hechekter Alavim, the burning of the fats and burning of all the limbs of the korbanot that was remaining there, that, they would pile up. They would not burn during the day. Because, of course, there's no time to burn. So they would pile up. They would imagine yourself how many days they would have limbs over there, pile up. And that's why the Mishnah says, what's the miracle of Beit HaMikdash? One of the 10 miracles? No flies. Yeah, and the beautiful thing is that no woman would have ever have a miscarriage. There was no smell even. That was the miracle. Today you go to a butcher house. You could smell it a few blocks away. Okay.
There was no smell in the Beit HaMikdash? Outside?
No smell also, nothing, nowhere. That was the miracle.
With all the korban.
Yeah, with all the meal. Imagine yourself, and there's the heat also, the element of heat.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? It's boiling the meat over there. Wait. Okay, Baruch Hashem, that's how Hashem cares for us. לכן, היו מאחרים הקרבתו בכל יום עד 9 שעות ומחצה. Oh, so what happened was, they would shecht it. They would shecht the korban at 12 and a half, but they would not bring it up yet, because they had other korbanot until 9.5 hours from the daybreak, from Netzach Hama. Levad me'erev Pesach shechal liyot be'erev Shabbat, except for Pesach when it would fall before Shabbat, שהיו שוחטין התלמיד ב6 שעות ומחצה, the talmid will be shechted right away from 6 hours and a half, ועל כן עיקר זמן תפילת המנחה לכתחילה הוא מ9 ומחצה ולמעלה. Again, even though the korban tamid was allowed to be shechted from 6.5 hours, but they always shechted, they waited till 9.5 hours. Okay? In order to get enough time to get all the korban of the day in. And therefore, the best time to pray mincha would be 9.5 hours, which is called plug, which is mincha ktana hours. Mincha ktana time is 2.5 hours before nightfall, before shkia, before sunset. That's the mincha ktana. So that will be 9.5 hours. However, only on Shabbat, if Shabbat falls, what's his name? If on Shabbat falls Erev Pesach, they would shecht it and bring it 6.5 hours after daybreak, after sunrise. כנגד התמיד שהיו מקריבים בכל יום. ומכל מקום, this is the opposite of all the korbanot, there was a korban that was brought the whole every daily. ומכל מקום, אם יתפלל משש ומחצה ולמעלה יצא. However, so the best thing to daven is 9.5 hours after the beginning of the day. But if you daven 6.5 hours, let's say mincha gdola, then 6.5 hours after the break of the sunrise, that will be also allowed. אחרי דעיקר זמנו של תמיד מדאורייתא מתחיל מאותו זמן. Because לכתחילה, according to Torah, that's when you're supposed to check the korban tamid, which is allowed half hour after midday, right? So it's 6.5 hours of the day. So therefore, if you prayed, even though regular practice, they would not do it till 9.5 hours in the time of the Beit HaMikdash, because to allow all the korbanot in, right? But technically speaking, the Torah obligates us already to start checking from 6.5 hours. Okay, זמן. ויש מהראשונים שמקילים לכתחילה משש שעות וחצי או למעלה. However, there are some Rishonim who say, no. Well, who told you that it has to be till 9.5 hours? No, from 6.5 hours is already, that's what Hashem wants us to daven. And that's why maybe you have in many yeshivot, they daven right after midday, half hour. Okay, number one, Ish Matzliach says over here like this. So what is he saying here? V'chen mashma miperesh Rashi, the Pirush Rashi, look at Ish Matzliach, number one. The way that Rashi explains that's what it is, that it's 6.5 hours, and that's when you're allowed to daven, and that will be the best time to daven already. Miperesh Ta'anit, Masech Ta'anit Shama, we learned over there. Remember, Dav Chaf Vav Amud Bet. Rashi, yeah, B'dibur Matchiv Kivan de Samuch, okay? So that's, Masech already discusses over there when. So 6.5 hours after the sunrise, that will be fine. Ayan Shams, look over there, Shamati. V'ayan Rashi Berachot, so too, Rashi in Masech Berachot, page Kaf Chet 28, Amud Al of the first side. B'dibur Matchiv Mitpalelin Shel Mincha. V'duk Neiman, okay, so over there, that's the way it is. V'ayan B'shut Yechav Da'at. So, says Rabbi Avadia in Yechav Da'at, Shevi Machloket Rishonim Bazeh, he brings down the dispute between the Rishonim, ולכן כתב שהמקלים להתפלל מנחה גדולה יש להם על מה שיסמוכו. Therefore he says, if you want to be one of those that prays mincha early, like in the yeshivot, mincha gedola, you have what to rely on because there are a lot of Rishonim that say like you. Ayin Shams, look over there. ומכל מקום, says Rabbi Ish Matzliach now. However, you would be guys, לכתחילה יש להיזהר להתפלל מנחה קטנה כדעת הרמב"ם. A person should be meticulously to always pray mincha קטנה like Rambam. Umaran v'hameiri ve'od. Just like the Maran, I remember, Maran says, Mishi Yitpalel. Look at the beginning of the Siman. Reish Lamed Gimel, Chevra. Look inside Reish Lamed. He says, Mishi Yitpalel Tfilat HaMincha. Right? Look at the language of Maran. What is he saying? Whoever prayed Mincha from 6.5 hours, he fulfilled the halacha of fulfilling the Mincha prayer. What does that language teach you? What does it sound like? This is B'diavad. Not the best. The way that Maran starts is already b'diavad. It's not the best prayer. Okay? ויש להיזהר להתפלל מנחה קטנה כדעת הרמב"ם, we said, אם לא בשעת הדחק וכיוצא, ועיין בהערה שבסוף הספר. Okay? If a person is not stressed, not like Rabbi Zohar Chazoi is, to travel or whatever it is, if you're able to pray mincha later hours is better, even from the language of Maran, where he tells you Rambam and Rif, the both pillars of Shulchan Aruch, he's telling you they both hold the best hours to daven for 9.5 hours because that's when they had to be, the Korban Tamid had to be brought that time. So that means that by 9.5 hours, there was not allowed, in the Torah you're not allowed to. Let's say it's 9:35. Will they bring the Korban Tamid? No. Avar Zmano. No guys, come on, you know this rule, this language. Avar Zmano. If the time of the Korban passed, you can no longer bring it. You can no longer bring it. That's it. If it's 9.5 hours and 35 minutes, the Torah told you by 9:30, that's the lowest. 9.5 hours max is Korban Tamid. So meaning from 6.5. What?
This is also the reason why I think Syrians don't say Tachanun after Mincha Ketera.
I don't know about Syrians. No, Syrians usually do. They do Tachanun. No, I would daven in Yad Yosef in Brooklyn, Osher Parkway, Rabbi Mikdash Melech, Rabbi Ben Ulel, Rosh Yeshiva. Our Rosh Yeshiva was very makbid.
Bnei Sfaradim, they don't do.
They're not Syrians. Bnei Sfaradim are Moroccans. Don't. What's his name?
Not Bnei Sfaradim. Bnei Yosef in Brooklyn.
Bnei Yosef, they do very much. They do even after Shkia.
No. Tachanun.
Tell them after Shkia they do a whole Tachanun up to 13 minutes. As a Rosh Yeshiva Paskin. Yeah, Bnei Yosef I'm talking about. You talking about maybe Yad Yosef maybe? Rabbi Zeri? I don't know about Rabbi Zeri, but I know for sure Yad Yosef, that's where I daven.
Bnei Yosef, I daven 1,000
Bnei Yosef, they always have Tachanun. They're very crazy about Tachanun. They're like very mahmeh. Very mahmeh. Sometimes it would be like already 14 minutes, I would say, no, we're still, that's the wrong time. It's 13, and we're saying it. Rosh Yeshiva said, say it, we're saying it, that's it.
Isn't I don't know if it deviate too much.
What?
About that, like, if we're doing Mincha, Shkia comes, we're doing Tachanun, isn't there a problem to do the Tachanun?
You came to the right place, Habibi. That's what we're here for. Let's discover all. Let's discover. Again, Baruch Hashem, we live our lives, right? We do this all day, every day. But let's find out why and where we make a mistake. My main concern right now is if Shulchan Aruch told me I'm not allowed to pray Arvit during Pagah Mincha, that bothers me still. I don't know how am I doing it then. Why am I allowing it? Why everybody does allow it? The whole world is allowing it. So let's say that's what bothers me. I understand Tachanun is a very serious issue. We'll get in. So ready? let's see. Can we get to see קטן ב'? 3 more lines, right? ועל כל פנים, אם רוצה לאכול או לצאת לדרך, או שעתה יוכל להתפלל עם הציבור. So that's what he's actually completing with the Ish Matzliach's word. Mishma Berura also agrees that if you are on the way, you're pressed for time, right? If you wait, so right now he's pressured. He has a minyan already. Let him pray mincha gdola, or he's gonna wait, or he's gonna be in a different world, let's say airport or whatever it is, or a different state. People travel and by car, whatever it is. If the time comes mincha gdola, you will not have a minyan. It's preferable, according to all the poskim, that in that situation, it's better for you to daven at 6:30, 6.5 hours after the beginning of the day, and this way, as long as you have a minyan, obviously, tavo alem birkat tov. As Hashem will continue, hopefully tomorrow, and we'll elaborate. We'll have more little bit time, no?
Meaning
So
basically, if we're doing it, it's always b'diavad.
What?
If we're doing it so far.
No. This is lechatchila. No. You see that? I don't like that word.
No.
What he just said. It's
You said that if he's gonna travel,
So it's
whatever,
b'diavad. It says lechatchila. It becomes lechatchila.
But in general,
We're not doing it b'diavad. Who does that b'diavad?
I'm saying to if
Yeshiva. So according to yeshivas, it's lechatchila. According to their whole.
Arvit.
No, I'm talking about mincha. We didn't learn how to read yet. Halachot. Why are you jumping, Habibi, today? Baruch Hashem. He's rushing. Sometimes we just said Baruch, they want to say Aleinu already. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for coming.